Your research could be Nobel Prize worthy, but one tiny little grammatical mistake, a little slip up in your method section is waving a giant red flag to the journal reviewers. In fact, it's one of the most common mistakes that even the most brilliant researchers and scientists make. It seems tiny, almost pointless, but to an editor, it would scream like you might not be fluent in the language of scientific writing. But here's the good news, guys. There's a ridiculously simple fix that can help you dodge that rejection letter. Hi, I'm Dr. Radhika Kamdar, and in this video today, I'm going to tell you exactly what that mistake is and how you can fix it so that your method section looks as sharp and as professional as your research. Alright, let's get straight into it. The single most common mistake that gives the reviewer an eye twitch is using the wrong verb tense in the method section. Specifically, writing about what you did in the present tense. Imagine a reviewer already on their 4th cup of coffee for the day reading your manuscript and comes across something like, we placed the samples inside a container at room temperature and then apply further processing. For anyone who lives and breathes academic papers like I do, since I'm an academic editor, this sentence would seem an immediate jarring record scratch. Why? Because the method section is all about what you did. It is a historical document. The experiment is over, the study is complete, the work is finished. So writing about it has to be in the past tense. When you use the present tense, you are breaking the fundamental or the ground rule of the whole game, and that is a buzzkill. So let me tell you, why is this a rejection worthy mistake? Why is this one little tense issue such a huge deal? And no, it's not about being a grammar snob. From a reviewer's point of view, this mistake suggests one of the two things, and neither of it is great. Trust me, guys. First is that it looks like sloppy work. If you have overlooked something like such a basic grammatical rule while writing, the reviewer would start wondering what else you might have overlooked while conducting your experiments. Did you overlook a confounding variable? Did you misread a calibration? Did you overlook or omit a data point? It plants that tiny seed of doubt that grows into a poisonous, venomous tree and changes the perspective of your entire study. The second is, and this is a big one, it suggests that you are not familiar with the conventions of scientific writing. And the whole point of the method section is reproducibility. You are giving another scientist an exact recipe of your completed work so that they can theoretically do it themselves. And the past tense is the universal signal conveying that this is the recipe I followed. Using present tense indicates or shows that you don't know the signal, you don't know the recipe, you are still in the process of it, and it undermines your credibility even before you get to the amazing results section that follows the method section. Thankfully, there is a very simple fix to this. Your method section must be written consistently in the simple past tense. It doesn't matter if you're using active voice or passive voice. Some journals love to use active voice and they might have stringent guidelines for it because they like it to be intuitive reading. But otherwise, the important point is to portray that the experiments are done. You have finished analyzing the data and what you are presenting in your article is only the results. So let's fix that previous example that I gave you that was pretty much cringeworthy. We place the samples in the container and then apply further processing. Now let's see how we can change that. We placed the samples in the container and then applied further processing. See how easy was that one? Let's look at another example. The solution is heated to 80 degrees centigrade. Let's correct it. The solution was heated to 80 degrees centigrade. One simple little switch from present tense to past tense instantly makes your paper look more professional. It tells the reviewer that you are reporting about your work that has been completed. So let's reinforce this rule with a few more examples and drill it into you. Let's make it your second nature. We analyze the data using SPSS. Let's correct it. We analyzed the data using SPSS. The measurements are performed on the imaging unit at different settings. The measurements were performed on the imaging unit at different settings. Let's look at just one more. Participants in the control group receive a placebo. Participants in the control group received a placebo. Every single corrected example locks the action firmly in the past tense. And that's the key, guys. Consistency is what makes your method section clear and completely bulletproof. There are no holes, there are no gaps. You are conveying that the study is complete. Now, if you want to get fancy and show that you have reached the boss level mastery, learn that there are a couple of exceptions to this particular rule. And they are just about specific moments in the methods where you get to use the present tense. Yes guys, if it is your favorite, you will get to use it. The first exception is when you are referring to a figure or a table or a chart which is inside the paper, inside the manuscript. Now these are the things that you are presenting information to the reader. You are describing exactly what is present in the paper while they are reading. So you will write something like, Figure 1 illustrates the experimental setup, so and so. Or say, Table 2 lists the demographic characteristics. Another exception to your rule is using past perfect tense to show that one action was completed before another past action. For example, let's say something like, after the samples had been dried for 24 hours, they were weighed. This makes the timeline of the procedure crystal clear. So when you need to show chronology, you can use past perfect tense, and when you are showing or describing the data in the manuscript, you can use present tense. In all other cases, you will use just past tense. No exceptions. So guys, nailing these exceptions would show that you have a deeper command of writing style or the academic writing style specifically. But remember, the main rule is always the simple past tense, and do not forget that you are always talking about a completed study in simple past tense. So there you have it. The number one mistake that can send your paper into the revise and resubmit or rejection pile, and that's where you can avoid it. The method section reports on what was done. Lock it in the past. And by making this one tiny little change to your manuscript, to your writing style, you will be able to remove the major red flag and let your actual research shine. So if this tip helped you, do me a favor, hit the like and subscribe button so that you keep getting more insights and tips about academic life, about academic writing, making that journey easier for you. And if you're still unsure about how to go about writing an article or a paper or a thesis or a review, please do reach out to me on my WhatsApp number at info@manuscriptlease.com. The information is also there in the description box. Do not hesitate to write to me and drop a comment about how you have ever faced any challenges. If you have been called out for using wrong tenses in the paper, or by a reviewer, and I will surely help you out. Till then, keep researching, keep writing.